What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. Man, this week has flown by. We had to get in here and get this done today. Little barbershop talk. This is our weekly therapy session where we just let it all hang out, get it all out, man. There's nothing like being in here talking with the bros. Hey, my people in the chat and the comments, I appreciate y'all. They always coming with the heat. Hey, Kassan Carter called Nesco out for his prediction. Hey, he want his money, Nes. Remember that he want his money. But we back again today, and y'all see the thumbnail, y'all see the topics. Hey, we gonna get into it. Before we get into it, how are you today, Mr. Reid?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a long week. You said it's short. It's been long when you got to cover this franchise. So it's been a long week, man.
You got a few gray hairs that you didn't have the last show.
Well, I got
they stressing you out.
If I had hair, it'll be all gray dealing with this dysfunction.
Man, I mean they are stressing you out, man. They're stressing you out, man. So we're gonna dive right into it, and we're gonna get on to Mr. James Robinson and just the dysfunction that's going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've never seen such dysfunction. 1-15 last year you thought would have been very dysfunctional, but that was a walk in the park compared to what we're going through with the 2-10 team with this coaching staff, man. I don't understand it. You have a head coach that has ceded too much power. This team is not built in his image, and he's not making the calls. He has other coaches who he's pushing stuff off on, who they have a difference of opinion and philosophy, and it's been clashing all year at some point. I mean, what are you going to do? And I guess you can't do anything mid-season, and you shouldn't. But at the end of the year, changes have to be made. But to Mr. James Robinson, as soon as he fumbled and they took him off the field, Mr. Reid, I was yelling at the screen. I said, put James Robinson back in the game. I said, we're not good enough to survive without him. Exactly. You lose the game. Every time he's off the field, you're losing. You're losing.
Yeah.
I was thinking today, I said, I wonder how many negative plays we've had with him off the field and with him on the field. And I guarantee you, majority of them was with him off the field. Hey, Trevor Lawrence may be a Ferrari, nice and shiny. It's beautiful, brand new. But James Robinson is the engine. That Ferrari can't go anywhere without that engine.
No question. I mean, let's just go back on the numbers. Here's a football team that's averaging 15 points a game.
What up, Jakar?
15 points a game. I mean, they're second to last. The only team averaging less is the Houston Texans.
Oh, and they're awful.
You can run the ball. I mean, you got an offensive line that can't pass protect. The guy is running for his life on every snap. And then, I mean, let's go. I mean, Aaron Donald is like a 3-time defensive player of the year, you know? He's strong. I heard the head coach of the Jaguars say on Wednesday, that James didn't grasp the ball correctly. He got spunked around, which is the reason why he fumbled. I watched that play 5 times. He got spunked around, but Aaron Donald used his opposite hand from the one that he was grabbing him, and he punched the ball out.
Punched it right out.
He punched it out. And the head coach said that he didn't get it punched out. It was just the fact that he did not grasp the ball correctly. And it's just like, I mean, come on, man. And then you got Carlos Hyde fumbles, come back in on the next possession, averaging probably about less than 2.5 yards a carry.
Yeah, it's like 2.6 or something like that.
And you take this guy out when your team is getting beat up and down the field, and you take him out for 20 plays after you took him out for 18 a week ago, and then you got the offensive coordinator who comes on and say, well, what is the philosophy? I asked him, I said, well, what is the identity? I mean, if you're not establishing it, then what is your, how do you want this team, how do you want the offense to look? We want to be run first and allow the run to create the pass. But if you want to be
Yeah.
run first, look at the touchdowns. James Robinson done scored 7 touchdowns. You know the most receiving, the most touchdowns outside of James as a receiver is Marvin Jones, and he has 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
All the tight ends combined they have 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stop the team from scoring, but I'm gonna take my guy out who done scored 7 touchdowns this season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dysfunction. It's it's no explanation for decision making. It's like you can't put a happy face on things that's not warranted a happy face. If you're
Yeah.
bad, you're bad. If you bench the kid, then say it on Sunday. It shouldn't take Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday the starting quarterback had to say, we have to have this guy on the field. He's that good.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a player. We got to have him on the field. We're 2-10. We're not 10-2. And covering this team, going out there every day, spending your time out there, seeing this dysfunction it's just you fly all the way out there. You see, the Rams could have scored 70 if they wanted to. I mean,
Yeah.
you
They let
still
up. They let off the
got
gas.
Andrew Wingard playing safety, and there's teams are scheming him. That Cooper Kupp touchdown, he
Oh
went
my
on
God.
a crossing route, and the guy missed the tackle, and he's still starting on Sunday against Tennessee. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just like, hey, this is our hometown NFL team. You got to go out and support the team. But man, I tell you what,
Yeah, it's tough.
just
It's
I shared a story to you. I mean, we wanted to talk to Bernie Parmalee, the running back coach, because some of the blame has been passed on Parmalee.
yeah.
That it was his call not to put James back in the game. Somehow, it also been speculated that there was miscommunication, which we done heard a lot this season, but there was miscommunication that basically Meyer wanted him to set out a few plays so he can think about it. But that message didn't get transferred to Parmalee. So they wind up sitting the kid out for 20 plays instead of like 2 or 3 plays, which is, I mean, come on, man. It's just like, you can't be all for one for all. And then when the questions start coming hard, it's like, no, it ain't my fault. It's his fault, because that's basically what it looked like. And then you
Yeah.
got to have the quarterback to be a man above all of them, of the whole franchise, to tell the truth that we cannot win. We ain't winning now, but we can't go from having a 5% chance to win into dropping down to 1% because this kid ain't in the game.
Yeah.
And it's just on and on. So long story short, they didn't make him available today. They didn't make the running back coach available today. So he could either clarify, which is probably most what we wanted, just clarify the situation.
Yeah.
And he wasn't allowed to do that, or we were told that it's just not the appropriate situation for him to. We've done talking about it, but you the one created this for the last 3 days, because if you wanted this to be over with, Maya should have said Sunday night, "Hey, James Robinson is a great player, but we cannot have fumbling in the game. He did it 2 weeks in a row. I made the decision to sit him."
Yeah.
That's all he had to say. I say this, Brandon. Professional athletes are professional athletes. They
Yes.
can take it. They get paid to take it. They don't get paid to be cuddled. They get paid to take it. And if you got a franchise and a head coach who's around here cuddling and babying NFL football players, how do you think that's gonna work?
It's not
Because
gonna work.
either the problem is that video and all the stuff that happened with the video, in my opinion, I just think he feels that he can't hit no one with a hammer. He can't be an authoritative person to make decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think so either. Man, Jakari been going on the comments. Let's get Jakari comments, man. He say he opens up the pass game. Yes, James Robinson opens up the pass game because you got to commit another defender to stop the run. James is a quiet dude, and for him to voice his frustration is a problem. I was very shocked he went on the show. I can't remember the name of the show, but he went on the show, the Jaguar show, and voiced his frustration. And I was very shocked about that because he's a quiet guy. Now, if it was Jalen Ramsey, okay, I understand. You know, Jalen gonna talk. You know, if it's Yannick Ngakoue, he gonna say what he got to say. But for him to voice his frustration, being the quiet guy he is, that is a problem. He said, and Hyde is no Robinson. No, Hyde is not even close. It's not even close.
But somebody got to tell Urban Meyer that. And you know another thing, Brandon, they didn't tell the kid. If you go watch that game, the kid looking up at the scoreboard. So when he was taken out, he wasn't told nothing. You know.
Wow.
I mean, he wasn't told that he's being benched. He wasn't told you're gonna come back in. And if you look at his expression, how close he was standing on the sideline next to Urban and the running back coach, he thought it'd be, a couple of plays, he'd be back in the game. And then when it got to the next drive, he's still standing. He's watching the scoreboard. And it's like, I think, I mean, for a guy as quiet as he is, I mean, I commend him for but speaking what he did speak on that show. Because it's not right. You can't hold one guy more accountable than the other. I mean, I've been preaching to the choir for the last 3 weeks that Jawan Taylor is garbage. I mean, he's played like garbage. Back-to-back holding calls. I don't see him getting benched. Even Trevor Lawrence doesn't fumble the ball. I don't see him going to the bench. I see receivers running the wrong routes. I don't see them going to the bench. I see I mean, you can just go down the line. All those guys making a mistake. If they wasn't, they wouldn't be 2-10. And to have this guy to point out one player, James Robinson, who I feel that Urban Meyer just don't have a lot of regard for whatever reason, and I think he's too loyal to the guys that he's coached, and that there's some type of, I don't know what it is, that this kid is not being treated fairly. I don't think. I mean, he's got a hell of a lot of talent. He's not Emmitt Smith. I mean, he's not going to be a 4-time Pro Bowler, but he's the best that you got right now playing out of the backfield, and you got to utilize his talent. And it's like the comment. If you utilize him, don't get behind. You got to not get behind in the game. But if you don't get behind in the game, you do utilize him to open up your passing game. Play action passing can be created by him. He can catch passes out the backfield, and he's going to go north and south. He's not an east-west runner. He's a north-south runner. So how is that not benefiting your team when you last in almost near the bottom in almost seven different offensive categories? You near the bottom. You averaging 50. Let's take that in. You averaging 15 points a game. In the last 6 games, you averaging 10.6 points a game. Trevor Lawrence done went 4 out of the last 5 games where he hadn't thrown a touchdown pass. He ain't done that. In Pop Warner, he threw more touchdown passes than not have 4 games go by and not have a touchdown thrown.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's getting stupid. Jakari says, I think he's trying to phase out James for Speedy ETN. I don't think he's trying to phase him out for ETN. I think the phase out, I agree with. But as far as ETN, if we're being honest about ETN right now, you don't know what you're getting coming off this injury. This injury ends careers, people. The Lynn Frank injury is not nothing to play with. It ends careers, especially for running backs. Linemen can have it, even wide receivers. Hollywood Brown had it early in his career. They said he's finally over it. He's taking his game to another level. But running backs cut off that foot more often than not. And that Lynn Frank injury is devastating for them. So he's young, and hopefully he can bounce back. But you can't put all your eggs in the basket with ETN right now because you just don't know.
And if I was a kid, I'd just say, look, man, if I'm not wanted, then I'll trade me.
Trade me.
Somebody else will take me.
Trade
his agent has been on Twitter, and she's been tweeting some stuff to make you wonder, like they're not treating her client correctly, and they're not. What more did a kid got to do? I mean, it's like If you think what he did last year was a fluke with that offensive line, shit, that's almost like rushing 3,000 yards with the line that they had last year.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's it's like, what more did this kid got to do? I mean, Carlos Hyde had basically, if you watch the game, he didn't pick up the blitz, and that's one of the sacks that Lawrence got because he cannot block.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no secret he can't pick up blitzes.
Yeah.
And it's like, and this is what you hear from Urban Meyer. Oh yeah, Carlos Hyde is a good, strong runner. I mean, he's doing a good job. He's doing. I'm saying, well, where is it at? It ain't showing on the stats. He's averaging less than 3 yards a carry.
Yeah. Yeah. Where is it at? Where is it at?
And he fumbled. But he fumbles in the game, and he gets back in like 3 plays later on the next drive. My man fumbled. Robinson fumbled. It
16
almost
plays,
a whole half without getting in the game. And
16
then we got to
plays the
hear
first
this
time.
craziness about, well, he didn't get benched. It's because of injury. Injury. What you put him in the game for? And it's 30. You're down 30 with the last drive they had of the game. He's in the game.
Yeah. So that debunks the whole injury thing. That debunks the whole, he's not healthy. His heel is still bad. So we're managing his workload. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I say this, Brandon. I think I have said on your show many times, man, I thought that this guy would come in. He would be the like the perfect coach for this situation. A guy that he thrives on winning. Everything is about winning. I can't say that now. He looks to me like he's a coach that's coaching in retirement. It's like he's not. It don't seem like he's putting everything in. He'd rather be a CEO than a head coach. Yeah. I've never heard of an NFL coach ever. I'm gonna go back to Jimmy Johnson to whoever saying that I can't micromanage. Man, you need to micromanage it. You done lost 10 out of 12 games. If they're not doing the job, you done said that the creativity is a problem on the offense. Well, micromanage that. If Bevel can't get the job, then use some of your influence that help you win games at Florida and Ohio State. Yeah. He's supposed to be an offensive-minded head coach. You micromanage when you have to micromanage. You don't have to micromanage if they're 10-2 and they're averaging over 400 yards a game and they scoring 30 points a game. If you go in and try to change things, then that's micromanaging because they're doing the job. But when they're not doing the job and everybody sees it, then something got to change. And you giving him all. This guy done had what week we in? 14th week of the season, and he done had 14 weeks to get it together. I'm not blaming it on injury. Yeah, they got a lot of injuries, but I don't see any. I see that the quarter. I see Trevor Lawrence. He's regressing. Yeah. If you look at him right now, he don't trust that offensive line. He's throwing passes. He's not even going through 3 of his progressions. He's getting the ball out as quick as possible. He's not even he's not even in the pocket enough to watch the receiver if he is getting open to throw the ball down. He's getting that ball out as quick as possible because that's all he's seeing is pressure all the time.
All the time. Yeah, Jakari just dropped a bomb here. He said Herb chose a lot of staff and a few players because of sentiment. Yes, he did.
He did. He's got too many here. He got too many assistants. You don't need 30 assistant coaches.
Shoot, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had hired homeboys essentially to run the Hornets. Homeboys and people he knew, guys he hired out of sentiment. And what happened? They were trash. Absolute trash. They hadn't been good in a long time. They had a playoff run here or there, but they'll get first round and out. When they did make the playoffs, the 1 or 2 times that Kemba Walker was there, and he going through it in New York right now. He got benched, and he got they called out Thibodeau for benching him, but it is what it is. But as soon as Michael Jordan hired basketball people, what do you look at the Hornets now? The Hornets are a very, very good team. They're young, but they're a very good team. And you can grow that team. And you have a budding superstar in LaMelo Ball. But what did he do? He went and got basketball guys like Urban. I thought Urban would come in and take the bull by the horns. I thought he would come here and be the Dun Dada. He come in, he's Tony Montana. He's the Godfather. The franchise will be built in his image. If a player sneezes, if a staffer doesn't shine the helmets properly, he knows about it. That's what I'm thinking he coming in. But he came in basically like, okay, you guys have been here before. I'm kind of watching what y'all do, and I'll let y'all do whatever, and I'll chime in from time to time. That's what this seems like. That's what this whole thing seems like to me.
Well, it's not working.
It's not.
It's not working.
It's not working.
And if he's gonna come back here next year and he got the same plan that he's working with right now, it's not gonna work. That marriage between him and the Jaguars is not gonna work. If Urban don't realize if whatever skills Urban has, obviously garnered from coaching 17 years and never having a losing season and winning 3 national championships, I would advise him everything that he gained from college, he's gonna need to apply that starting when that season ends. Actually he can start using it now. I look at draft picks. These guys had 7? I don't even remember what the number was, but at least 7 draft picks they had, and they're not using them. So tell me, why would you not play rookies when you 2-10? Because you don't redshirt. I've never known of it. You don't redshirt in the NFL.
No.
It's not. They're not learning at practice. They don't tackle at practice in December, November, and October. They don't. It's you're just going through scout team stuff. You're not tackling. You're not doing most of that stuff that you would learn in the game.
Yep.
And these guys got players. They got draft picks with no snaps.
None. No snap. You're right.
And tell me what would be the plan for that? So he gonna pick up on everything by next season?
Right. Yeah. Cisco gonna pick it up.
Yeah. And James Jordan, whatever his name is, the defensive end, they moved up 9 spots to pick this kid out of UAB. He started at Florida and he went to UAB. So he went to UAB, so he was going to be a developing player,
Yeah.
And you have not played. The kid been a healthy scratch for 12 consecutive games. The question was asked to the defensive coordinator, so when is he getting in the game? Well, it's coming. I say, well, hell, we only got 5 games to go, so.
And you know what? It's when somebody gets hurt. When somebody gets hurt, he'll get in. He'll get in. To see Jakar say, what you got in that cup? It's Red Bull, Jakari. This is a smoke-free and alcohol-free show. This is a family show, Jakari. Okay? This is a family show. Now, when I'm off camera, don't ask me that question. But when I'm on camera, sir, come on, it's Red Bull.
Yeah, but the hometown team to make you drink, boy.
They'll take you through the paces. They will take you through the paces.
But if you go to the game, they almost break you, boy. I saw some of those prices for some of the drinks they sell. Good Lord.
Oh man,
you have to bring your own sipping cup in the game.
Are you talking about out there in LA?
No, I'm talking about in Jacksonville at TIAA Bank with them high prices, man.
Wow. Yeah. They had went down on it before. I guess they done brought the prices back up, but they did a price slash. Like the Atlanta Falcons did. Atlanta Falcons kind of paid away. Oh, man.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sorry about that. All right. So I'm going to delve into Mr. Golly. Can I get these ads, man? All right. So Trevor Lawrence, he spoke about the situation. And what he said, and I had to get his quote correctly, so I want to get it correctly. So Trevor Lawrence says, in my eyes, obviously, I'm the one that's out, see all the pieces moving. I see the whole picture. He said, bottom line is James is one of our best players. He's got to be on the field, and we addressed it. And I feel like we're in a good spot, and the whole team, we're good. Whatever may have happened, I honestly don't even know everything that went into it. All that means is that He knows what went into it. He knows the reason why. He's not going to say, but they talked about it and moving forward. I guess they're promising not to do this again. That's the only reason I think he's saying that.
But
he says, "Oh, go ahead. What you say?"
Brandon, it shouldn't take the rookie quarterback to be the person to speak publicly the truth. It shouldn't have come to Trevor Lawrence. Basically, it seemed like he with his prestige, because his future is brighter than anybody in the franchise. So he carries more weight than anybody else. But he's got the one to have to be in James Robinson's corner to go tell the coaching staff, this guy needs to be on the field with me. I mean, what that says about the organization. You know, it shouldn't take Trevor Lawrence to go public to say we got to have this guy on the field.
He shouldn't. Trevor basically went to the coaching staff and said this: "Hey, when I give the ball to 25, things happen. Can we keep him on the field?" I mean, it's that simple. It wasn't very hard, man. But they're making it very hard. And I like what he said at the last part of it. He said, "I'm playing the game, and stuff happens on the sidelines with coaching decisions. I don't really get into that, but I know I voiced my opinion. James is one of our best players, and he's got to be in the game. I think we're all on the same page, so there's no confusion there. We're going to move forward. I know James is a hell of a player, so I want him out there." Why does Trevor Lawrence sounds like a head coach in that quote?
Because his statement is, I mean, he's making sense.
Yes.
Right now, Urban not. You know, it's like Urban just talking. I mean, it's just like you don't know what he's saying. He's just saying words to be saying. You know, it's like, come on, man. You got to be more in tune to the game. You got to be more in tune to what talent you got on your sideline. You got to know when to put the guy. If you don't see your top guy in the game, then it's time for you to get on the headset and say, we need to get him in the game. I mean, another thing, Urban Meyer, he's got to be held accountable. I mean, he's got to, it just can't be where he said something and not being held accountable either. You know, who cares about the 3 national championships? That has no bearing right now. They 2-10. And it's just like Doug Marrone and the ones before Doug. They got to be held accountable for not being. They're not getting the job done. He's not getting the job done right now. 2-10. Don't know some of the players' names. I mean, I can go down the list on some of the things that I've heard this season. I mean, I'm sure the owner didn't hire a guy who just basically going through the motions. That's what it feels like, in my opinion. He just going through the motions. Don't show any emotions. Don't get on players. Don't say anything publicly to show that he cares. I mean, fans don't want to hear no crap about how good the defense played in the first half, and they done lost the game by 30 points. You go tell that to the players. You don't tell that to the public. The only thing the public see is we got beat 37-7. We were not in that game from the start. The start of the game, what did they do? They gave up a 65-yard kickoff return. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's like you can't be around here praising how good we played defensively. To be honest, Stafford was off a little bit early in the game. Cooper Kupp didn't even catch a pass until midway in the second quarter. But just think if they would have came out firing.
Right. You said Jakari, you had to remind me. And the Lions win again. We are number 1 overall again. Yeah.
Right now,
coach is leaving already. We talked about that.
Yep. 2 of them, and it might be more than that.
Oh, dude, that offensive staff got to go. I mean, I don't. Palmerly, Sanjay, Belleville, Schottenheimer, go. Bye. They got to go, man. They got to go. If you want to bring Mullen, bring him. Bring whoever else you want to bring, but they have to go.
And I heard a Tweeterberg today said that somebody, a source told me, I don't know if it's a short thing that Bevel, he may be back.
Oh my God! How do you justify that? How do you justify that?
You can't justify it. You can't justify. Hey, they 2-10.
Now I would be okay. The only way I would be okay with that, and then even then, I still wouldn't be okay. But the only way I would be like okay that all right is if he says Bevel comes back, but the offense is going in Urban Meyer's direction, not Bevel's direction. That's the only way. Other than that, why is he? No, why? I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't know. Sometimes I think this franchise is cursed, man. I do. I just think sometimes you just don't make the right decisions, and there's not been a lot of right decisions this season. I'm not talking about what happened in 2019, 2020. I'm talking about right now. It's been a lot of bad decisions and not a lot of accountability, and a lot of guys just resting on their laurels in the past and not doing what they was hired to do, and that starts with Urban and you Bevel too, Bevel. I mean, some of those play calls is just, I mean, I want to see screen pass, a screen pass where you have the lineman go out there in space. Maybe you get LaVisca a little bit more yardage if you put your offensive guard or tackle in front of him and let clear some lanes so he can run instead of having them run slant passes where he's right there by a linebacker. They throw a pass and they need 10 yards. He catch the pass 8 yards and they punting.
and then they put him in the backfield and ran. Dude, no creativity.
Yeah,
they just basically handed him the ball in the backfield and said, "Hey, run up the middle or run to the side." There was no creativity in that. Dude, did they not watch? You got to see up close and personal Deebo Samuels and Cordero Patterson in back-to-back weeks, and that's what you came up with against the Rams with Laviska Shenault. That's what you came up with.
What, Brandon? Go back and watch the game when Jalen Ramsey, like I think on that fumble, and
Josh?
And Trevor, I think Trevor tackled him. I think and Ramsey hits him in the head, and Andrew Norwell looks right at it and walk away.
Wow, he hit Trevor. He hit Trevor in the head.
Yep. On the fumble recovery by
Ramsey.
So
that's why, because it said it appears that Trevor twisted Ramsey's ankle on the tackle, they said. And so I went and looked at it. It kind of, it looks like, it doesn't look like Mac Jones's. Mac Jones, he got a little torque with his.
Mm-hmm.
With Trevor, it looked like it, but I don't know. Jalen's never spoke on it. Hasn't said anything that I've saw, so I don't know. I mean, I hope Trevor, you can't do that because these dudes will knock you smooth out when they get a chance. But I didn't see that. You say Jalen hit him in the head, and then
he kicked him.
Kicked him in the head.
He's getting his foot loose, and he kicked him. And Andrew Norwell is right there. He's looking at it, and he don't pick up his quarterback. He just walk away.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. How many times you see any team in the NFL where offensive linemen don't go and protect or defend or whatever you want to call it their quarterback? I mean, come on, man. That says everything you need to know about this team right now on just that play alone. They're unified and unity and all the things that have been harped and bragged about. Man, there's a bunch of individual guys out there, and they're not getting the job done. That's what it is.
Yeah. Wow, man.
The truth hurts, man. I mean, you can praise a team and you can say that we moving in the right direction. You could go back in the Buffalo game and, man, we played and we won that game. And then you can come back and say that we went to London and we beat the Dolphins, a team that's peaking right now. But those are just small wins. A team is judged by sustainability, doing it every week, and this team hadn't done it every week. They look worse each week.
Yeah, they do. They look worse each week. Yeah, I'm looking at with Josh Stewart. Yeah, I can't click on it on here, Josh. But I just clicked on it, and they're showing the video, and I'm not gonna show it here because I don't want to copyright strike. But You guys click on that link that Josh just put in the chat, and you see the video of the tackle. And people are going in. And he said the NFL needs to slap a big fine for this, maybe a suspension, no room for this. And so Big Game James, who was on our broadcast a couple weeks ago, he said, you talking about Trevor gator rolling Jalen's leg or Jalen taking offense to what the QB is doing to his leg?
Yeah.
He say it's a tackle, man. He said, I get it. We hate Jalen. And it is a gator roll. You can go back and look at it. It's a little subtle, but it's not what Mac Jones did, but there's no place in the game for it. He's right. So I mean that I don't know, man. It is what it is. He said I sent to you a message. Yeah, I got it. I'm looking at it now. Jakari. Yeah, I got it. But yeah, it's I don't know. And I'm watching him. Yeah, he pulled. I'm watching him. He pulls Trevor's head. Yeah, I see it. He snatches his head back. Yeah, because Trevor gator rolled it. And that tackle happens often. I mean, that's not something that is like, oh man, they're doing something that hasn't been done. That happens often. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that a lot. Shoot, I saw it from I'm trying to remember who did it. He rolled Greg Olson's ankle, and then when Greg Olson was in the end zone, he basically took the foot and did it like this. And I mean, he hurt him. I've seen that. What he did to Jalen Ramsey, I understand Jalen taking issue with it and doing what he did, but come on, man. It is what it is. It's much worse football plays than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is. But man, I don't have to review the Rams game because there's nothing to review. And as far as the Tennessee game, I mean, we could predict that right now because even though Tennessee is hurting, I mean, you probably might be catching them at the right time. This coaching staff ain't gonna be able to capitalize on whatever Tennessee is going to give them.
Well, you heard what Urban Meyer said this week. He said he cut 15 plays from that game when they played the Titans. He had James Robinson to look at those 15 plays. He had a big guy. I think he had the most yardage of the season against the Titans. Yeah. And he said that you got to get back to that level. You got to get back to playing at that level. And I'm saying,
give him the ball.
Give him the ball. Let him get healed. And it's like the coach don't like the kid. I mean, come on. I say it on the record. I don't think Urban Meyer likes James Robinson. I won't say he doesn't like him. I just don't think he respects his talent. Yeah. I say it on record. Why do James Robinson have to go back and look at the Titans game and then be told that you're not playing at that level like you played in week 4?
Yeah. You're not. Yeah,
and here's a guy in the Indianapolis game who was hurting. He was hurting. You can see in the pregame warm-ups in Indianapolis. He's trying to make a cut, and he's grimacing. He's grimacing, and he plays in the game. But who did they start? They start Carlos Hyde. Here's a guy that sacrificed, didn't have to play, playing hurt, and don't start.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Let's see. Jakari says
disrespectful.
Yeah, it is. It is disrespectful. Jakari says KT or Hutchinson. I want Hutchinson, but I feel like KT would fit better. Thibodeau, the defensive end from Oregon. I don't know, man. I think it's a coin flip right now between those two because I've watched some of Thibodeau, but I got to see Hutchinson for the first time because I haven't seen any Michigan games except for the championship game they just played. And dude, Hutchinson is a beast. Yeah. And that motor's relentless. Hutchinson reminds me of the Bosas, and he reminds me of the Watts. Yeah. That's what he reminds me of. The energy he has, and he's relentless. Like Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa didn't have the he had a sack or 2 or whatever against the Jaguars. But dude, by the time he got that sack late in the game, that was just effort, man. It's just effort. His nonstop motor, and Hutchinson, I think, has that same motor. But Thibodeau, on the other hand, I think is physically gifted. That's the difference. I think he's physically gifted. Hutchinson is big, he's fast, he's strong, but Thibodeau has that athletic ability. Who he has that may have that that twitch and that burst that they look for in elite defensive ends translating to the NFL. So I don't know who I would take, but I did say after Jameson Williams had that long touchdown, I was like, with the 3rd overall pick in the 2022 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Alabama. I'm like, yo, we need it. Hey, this is the priority. Now that we got the number 1 pick, this is the priority going into the offseason. Offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver. Straight like that. You get any of those 3 at the top of the draft, I'm satisfied. Offensive line, defensive line, or wide receiver.
Yeah, I think they actually need to draft 2 wide receivers or move down and get. I don't think you need to draft a wide receiver in the 1st round, but I definitely wouldn't wait. No, I would probably grab my 1st one in the 2nd and don't wait till no later than the 3rd or the 4th to get the other one.
Yeah,
gotta get some playmakers, man, with some speed. I don't know. I haven't even started looking at the top receiver. I like the guy at Ohio State, receiver. Yep, and the kid at Alabama is pretty good, even though he got hurt in the championship game. But
Mechie.
Yeah, I take number 1. I think he's
that's what I'm talking about.
That's
Jameson Williams. That's who I take.
Yeah. But he got speed. I mean, he makes plays, man, and that's what this. And he's got size. He could grab balls over the top. I mean, he's got that elite speed, and he's a playmaker. That's a playmaker. When you catching passes, everybody know in the stadium he's gonna get the ball thrown to him, and he's still catching in double coverage. That's a guy you need.
that stutter and goal that he ran on those corners from Georgia. Yep. Oh my goodness. Dude, and it was so subtle. It was just boom, and he was out of there. I mean, that's all he needed was that much. But hey, what Gail says, all I need is 18 inches of daylight. That's all Jameson Williams need is 18 inches of daylight, dog.
The Jags need about 9-10 of them players there with 18 inches of daylight.
Man, that's all he needs, man. That's all we need. Let's see. Josh Stewart say, are either of you guys micromanagers? Oh, what you talking about, Josh? Micromanagers. Are you talking about Urban Meyer?
Yeah. If we were coaching that 2-10 team, I tell you what.
I'll be a
micromanager.
My job.
I'll be a micromanager. I say, I'll take over your play calling responsibilities. That we're not getting anything done. Yep, I would be a micromanager.
Yeah, oh yeah, he talking about Urban. Oh yeah, dude, Urban, you need to be a micromanager because he said I'm not a micromanager. I don't micromanage my coaches. You need to. I say we're gonna have to trade up and to get into the big wide receivers, find wide receiver talent for agency. I'd give Devontae Adams a blank check with my signature on it if I was Khan. Now, if you're able to go get a Devontae Adams or bring Allen Robinson back home, okay, all right, you got me then. So go get one of the defensive ends or the tackle at the top of the draft. Get you another wide receiver, like you said, in the 2nd round, and then we can go from there. But you got to get playmakers in here. You got to get playmakers because we don't have enough. I mean, and then you don't even the few players you do have, even our lack of playmakers, you don't even have coaches who can scheme to get these guys open. You say, Josh say, I like Godwin too. Oh, yeah, Godwin too. Yeah, I'll take Godwin too. I'll take any of those guys, man. They're better than what we got. I'll take any of those guys. Trevor will look real good throwing any of those targets, man. With Godwin, Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, any of those guys, man. But we got to get some heat in here. So, but yeah, we're gonna put a pin in that right there. I think that's enough Jags talk. I mean, we spent like 44 minutes on it, so I guess we go ahead and move. We go ahead and move over, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about the next game or next loss next week.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about what the Titans are gonna do. He say and get Trev Justin Ross, a wide receivers he's used to. Yeah, I wonder where Justin Ross projects in the draft because I don't unless his measurables blow everybody away, his workout blow everybody away. I think Justin Ross is a receiver you could probably get in the 2nd round. Yeah. I think if that's especially at the top of the 2nd round. If we get the number 1 pick, take him round 2, pick 1, Justin Ross. If that's the case, then yeah.
But we'll see. They might pick a safety in the second or first round or something, man. I just don't put no. I don't know. I just leave it. I just wait till the draft and see what they do and see what they do in free agency, man.
We'll see.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know, man. So we're gonna put a pin in that right there, and we're gonna move on. But we're gonna stay on some football. I mean, overall, it was a good football weekend. I think outside of the Jaguars game, it was a lot of great games. I know one thing: Bill Belichick is quiet. I mean, the haters are. They quiet as a church mouse right now. They started 2-4, and now they're 7-0 since. And he just beat Buffalo in Buffalo, running the Navy triple option offense, basically. Dude, Mac Jones threw 3 passes. They ran the ball 45 times and won. I've never seen anything like that in the NFL. I've only seen that on little league fields, a few college fields, and I've seen on some high school fields, but never in the NFL have I ever seen where you run the ball 45 times, throw it 3 times, and you beat your opponent. And even though the score was close, I think it was 14-10 or 14-13, something like that. It was a very close game. The ending score was not indicative of how that game went. They dominated that game. They just didn't score more points, but they dominated that game.
Yeah, but three passes.
Three passes.
Man, that game reminded me, like, man, you go back and watch the 1960s and see them highlights of the wing T or something.
Wishbone.
The wishbone, yeah, like the old Oklahoma teams of the 70s where they don't throw it all, basically. But, man, you got to give Belichick credit, man. I mean, a lot of people didn't see this coming, that early in the season and, the Cam situation and they leading the division.
Mm-hmm. And I heard he overspent on these free agent players. He overspent. Those players he overspent. Man, those guys are paying dividends right now. Yep. Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, yep. Kendrick Bourne, Judon is a monster right now, man. Yep. I mean, Judon is ridiculous right now. I think he leads the league in sacks. He's absolutely ridiculous right now, man. But I watched that. Let's see, Pats lead AFC, not just division. Oh yeah, they number 1 in the whole AFC. Yeah, I forgot about that. Let's see, maybe Pickens in the third. Mayor Pickens in the third. Pickens. Where's Pickens from? Tell me where Pickens from. I can't remember off the top of my head. That I watched that. What was the other game? Oh, of course, college football had. I wouldn't say it was a good slate because I expected Georgia to really bring it to Alabama because I expected their defensive line to at least. Oh, Pickens, UGA from Georgia. Oh, Pickens. Yes, he tore his ACL in the spring and he played Saturday. Yeah. And dude, from the little bit I did see of him, 6'5", he can move. He's not Calvin Johnson, of course, because he doesn't have Calvin's speed, but he got the size and he got the ball skills, man.
Yeah.
So Pickens in the third. I take a swing on Pickens because number 1, you need wide receivers that can catch the ball. Yeah, you want guys who are fast, who can make plays, but can I get somebody who can catch the ball? Just catch the ball.
Give me a 6'5" guy too. I mean, give me a guy that I'll take a 6'5" receiver with, better than average speed and can get open, which this team doesn't have, and just and have that skill set like this kid at Georgia had. Pickens have at Georgia. You can work with that. I mean, Lawrence could work with something like that.
Let's see. Yeah, Chark is still big, but we without Chark. So, and we don't know what Chark's future is. I mean, I hope they keep Chark and Chark is able to stay, but
it ain't in the Jaguars' hands. He becomes a free agent. He's unrestricted, so he can
say they franchise him.
Yeah, they can, but I don't think they'll do it.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't think so either. So, I mean,
I think they got a better chance of franchise tagging Cam Robinson than they do with DJ.
Yeah, franchising Cam for a second straight year. I think so too. And I think that I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the franchise tag goes, because I don't think they've seen enough from Cam to give him a long-term contract.
Nope.
But they will roll the dice on another year. Especially if you can't find a clear upgrade. That's the thing.
Well, my strongest opinion is if they keep that offensive line that they got now, they won't win 5 games. I just think it's time for the Brandon Linders and the Andrew Norwells. It's time to cut the cord, man, and move on and get
AJ and
AJ and all that group, man. Get you some better depth. Get that offensive line, even if you got to go up and use a second round pick to get a tackle or guard. Do it, do it.
Yeah.
We done seen the same thing since 2017. Offensive line and this, a lot of people look at the sack stats. He's only been sacked 22 times or whatever it is, but it's the pressure that's getting Lawrence. It's not the sacks, it's the pressure. He can't, they got to move the pocket just so so he can get an open angle to throw. And that's, you can't. That's not gonna work.
I'm trying to remember in my head right now how many times I've seen him step up with a clean pocket, and I'm drawing a blank right now.
It wasn't many in that Rams game, believe that. I mean, Donald came up from the middle; they were moving him around.
Yeah,
it was a tough day for him to even get a throwing angle and like a lane to throw.
Yeah,
and if you can get you solid. I don't know what direction they want to go, but I just think maybe Jawan just needs some soul searching, or move him to guard.
Yeah, man, say the man got a soul search. They say
I think he's got to do something, man. He's done. Yeah. Hey,
you see what
better.
Josh Stewart? He said he's the 4th most pressured quarterback according to Pro Football Focus. 4th most pressured.
I believe it. But soul searching means that something has happened. He was better as a rookie coming out of Florida than he is now. So something that, and I'll say this, I done said it before, so it ain't gonna hurt me. I don't think their offensive line coach is in this century.
Warhawk. Yeah, you said it before.
I don't think his coaching methods. I think his coaching methods is the 90s, not 2021. You zone block, you block areas, you reverse blocks, you switch your guard on the gap to the left, and the tackle go the opposite direction that the guard going. You pull your linemen so you can go out and create space, get some running lanes, and they block who they see. Do we see that with this team? No, we don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And you got a bunch of guys that like you said before, they can't really move. No, you got to get some guys who can move. Yeah.
So, hey, I see a lot of good offensive. Alabama line, they got some good linemen.
Man, those kids played. You got to give it to that offensive line. Yeah. Though they were the MVP of that game. Bryce Young was amazing, of course. The defense played a great game. But the MVP of that game was the offensive line, because they had taken a beating. I'm talking about a beating against Auburn. They took a beating in the Texas A&M game, and they've taken beatings in other games that they won. And for them to play that way against what was arguably the best defensive line they had seen all year, the best front seven in all of college football.
Yep.
They played a great game. Now, the back end for Georgia, which we did not know because the front seven was so good, the back end for Georgia is barbecue chicken. We just didn't know that. Bryce Young showed us that they're barbecue chicken. I mean, it is what it is. But those guys played an amazing game.
I think Georgia got to upgrade this. There's something about Georgia in big games. I mean, Georgia got too much talent to lose to Alabama every year in the SEC championship. I think Georgia, in order for Georgia to be a national championship caliber team. And who knows, they might still win a national championship, but they may have to go out and play Ohio State. I mean, they might have to go outside the SEC and play and just get a dose of playing a big game in somebody else's stadium, and their coach got to stop being conservative.
It happens all the time. I don't understand what's up with Kirby Smart, but Kirby usually does this when he's facing Nick Saban for whatever reason. He goes conservative. I mean, they had them dead to rights in 2018 in that championship game. Dead to rights. You dominating the game. They can't move the ball. Tua is a great player. Don't get me wrong. Tua's a great player. But for them to bring Tua in and for him to do what he did, you went conservative. They were basically the Jaguars in 2017 in the second half against Brady.
Yeah.
That's you went conservative. You didn't do the things that got you to that point. And every time a coach abandons what gotten him to that point, that's the result. You end up losing.
Yeah. He's got all that talent he got, man. They got to play a wide open game. They got to just let it all loose. You gotta play Alabama the same way you beat up every team in the SEC West. Same way you beat Florida. I mean, you just gotta let it all out and just let it go. Throw the ball down the field. Get the ball to the tight ends. You got some of the best tight ends in the country, and you didn't use them. You use them some, but you didn't use them the way they should have been used to win that game.
Yes, Bowers is a dude.
He's
a freshman.
Yeah, number 4, the running back. It's like
Cook.
Cook. You started him, and you was running them early, and then when it got crunch time, it's like, where is it?
Right. And this is the thing about Alabama's defense that somebody had pointed out, I think a few years ago, and I've seen it a few times. Alabama doesn't have much of an issue with downhill runners, one cut runners. They don't have much of an issue with those runners. The runners that they have an issue with is runners like Cook. Like when they played Georgia with Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, Chubb wasn't much of an issue. They can handle Chubb. It's those guys that can get side to side. That's an issue. Sony Michel I'm talking about killing them. And so James Cook would have been your best option. And you're right. They stopped running him.
Yeah, they did. I mean, this guy got explosive runner, and you just, I don't know what they were doing once they got behind. It's just like that they never been used to getting behind, and the defense got knocked on the.
I told you. Let me get the comment real quick. But I told you about that quarterback from Georgia too, didn't I? I told you he ain't the guy.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Jakari already calling it Michigan winning. He said go blue. He already got Michigan over Georgia. I'm with it.
I wouldn't be shocked if Michigan win that game, man.
Michigan can run the ball.
Yeah, and they got a good defense.
Yes, yeah, and he said, Evan Neal can move for such a big man. Yeah, I take Bama tackle Evan Neal, the left tackle.
Oh yeah,
he should be protecting Trevor Lawrence next year.
Yeah, I'll draft him. Even though Cam came out of Alabama,
even though it is what it is, I'm taking Evan Neal. Yeah, I'm taking Evan Neal. So, but that quarterback from Georgia. Bomani Jones had tweeted during the game, and dude, I was like, it summed it up perfectly. He said, Stetson Bennett is not the reason Georgia is losing this game, and they was down like 31-17. He said, but it's very obvious that he's the reason why they're not going to be able to come back. Yeah.
Well, you got your guy. I mean, at some point, if you're down 31-17, when do you put your other quarterback in the game?
At some point.
That's something they better think about if they get down by when they play Michigan.
Yeah, because Stetson Bennett's limitations became very obvious, which I had seen his limitations early on in some of their games when I saw him early in the year and they were blowing teams out. I said, dude, Stetson Bennett is a game manager at best, man. Yeah, he's not that guy. You see, they need to play the Mandarin High kid Beck. Oh, Carson Beck. Oh man, yeah. Carson is a freshman, sophomore. think he's a sophomore. Yeah, I mean, what do you have to lose? I think Beck has a better arm than Stetson Bennett, man.
Yeah.
Now, Bennett is older. He got more experience. But Beck, yeah, I would think about playing Beck. If it's 28 to 3 or something like that at halftime, hey, Carson, yeah, warm up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is.
But I'll tell you, man, Georgia got too many of those. They got too many good athletes on that team to get beat like that against Alabama.
Stacked top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean they got the talent to beat Alabama. They got the talent to beat anybody in the country.
Yep.
But they can't play to the moment. They since he's been there, they haven't played to the moment. They haven't played like all out, everything in, go out, have fun. It just seems like when they begin that big game, that SEC championship game, they just tense up. Not the same team.
Yeah.
Not the same team that was averaging damn near 40 points a game in the regular season.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited for this college play.
You better get it, man. You gonna be what I say, Kirby.
You better get it.
You better get it, man. He'd be looking for a job. It's just unbelievable that Georgia has not won a national championship since Herschel Walker was there. 1980. 1980.
1980.
And
it's one of the top jobs in the country.
They've had twice as much talent as University of Florida.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy, man.
Look at all the running backs that then went through there.
Shoot, just look at the McElwain era. Come on, dog. That'd be way more talent than UF, man. Let's see. Hold on, let me get especially on defense, led by Dean. Oh yeah, on defensively. Let's see. What's up, fellas? I seen the post today that said Georgia had the best team ever, and Alabama had a third string team.
Okay. Well, it looked like that Saturday.
Yeah, it didn't look like that Saturday.
Who number one today? It ain't Georgia.
No. And
I'm with my man. I don't know if they can beat Michigan, to be honest. Michigan is a physical team. They can score. They got a good defense, and they punch you in the mouth like Alabama.
Yeah. And I think that as far as this playoff, the only team in this playoff that can beat Alabama is Georgia. Honestly, I don't think Michigan can. Yeah. I don't think Cincinnati. Cincinnati definitely can. That Cincinnati-Alabama game, it's going to be a wash. Yeah. I see that being a wash. They favored by 14.
He'll be taking his starters out by the mid-third quarter. He won't even need to have them in there.
Yeah, and the only way this is a close game, and Cincinnati say they play a very inspired game. And, they just come out firing on all cylinders. The only way this game is close, Bryce Young has to be terrible. And I don't see that happening.
Nah, that's not happening. He's probably going to be the Heisman Trophy winner. So he's not going to come out and be garbage.
Yeah. And this kid, and I remember you asked me, you say, well, can this kid play in big moments? Dude, after he beat Auburn, that's it, man. Yeah. That's it. For him to go calmly, go 98 yards, throw a touchdown like it's nothing. No, man.
Man, I tell you what, Brandon, I looked at that Auburn game. I thought no way in the world these guys gonna come back and win that game.
Oh yeah, we was watching it while we was on live.
Yeah, I said no way. I said it's just like, they scored. Oh, they tied up. Oh, it's overtime. Oh, they scored. Auburn scored. Then they won.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me see. Because Jakari just had a comment. What did he say? Yeah, don't sleep on Ritter. Cincinnati quarterback. Yeah, but is Ritter can play, but he has Will Anderson Jr., probably the defensive player, one of the defensive players of the year, a candidate for the defensive player of the year. He might win the Bronco Nagurski Award. I think that's the best D lineman in the country. He's going to have 31 bearing down on him. Early on, Georgia had a game plan for Will Anderson, and he didn't get to the quarterback early. But what I noticed from Will Anderson, he noticed they were going to double team him. He couldn't get the Stetson Bennett like he wanted. That boy looked for work. It was, I promise you, it was probably about 3 straight drives where on defense he was around the ball like every single play. 31 was near the ball. If he didn't make the tackle, he was right there. Will Anderson Jr. is a monster. He's a beast. So he's gonna have to contend with them. But Cincinnati's not winning that game, man. The game is going to be Georgia, Michigan, and then whoever wins out of that goes to face Bama, and we'll see from there. But Georgia's the only team in this playoff that I think can beat Alabama. And just the familiarity, their level of talent. No, man. But
case closed.
Case closed. So we talk about the college football playoffs. So before we get into go back to this NFL and talk about Big Ben, the coaches leaving the coaching changes that we've had over the last couple of weeks. So you had Brian Kelly go to LSU, Lincoln Riley. USC. Laid it all out. A spread. They rolled out the red carpet. They gave him $110 million. Bought both of his homes. $500,000 over the market price in Norman, Oklahoma. Private jet use anytime he wants it. You gonna say yes to that too, Mr. Reid? Like you can't say no to that. Of course you're gonna leave. Brian Kelly, same thing with Notre Dame. He leaves and go to LSU. Bill Napier leaves Louisiana. Now he's with Florida. Cristobal left Oregon and now he's with Miami. Marcus Freeman is now with Notre Dame. So with all these coaches leaving, and 2 of them left teams who were you would say in the hunt for the college football playoff. I don't want to hear anything about the transfer portal ever again. I don't want to hear. I don't care about player mobility. They only have a problem when players want to exert the power that they have. But when it comes to coaches, everybody's like, oh, it's coaches. Coaches, that's what coaches do. Okay, well, players need to have mobility too. Because if the man that promised me what he promised me at my mama and daddy house, sitting in front of them, giving me those promises, leaves and goes somewhere else, I should be able to leave and go somewhere else as well.
Oh yeah. No doubt about it. And that's just what it is. It's big time money in this college football, and man, you hit the nail on the head there, man. Like USC just opened up the bank.
Man, made it rain.
Yeah, made it rain with dollars.
Man, it got.
Hope he wins. I hope he can bring that tradition back. It's not Oklahoma. He's got.
No, it's not Oklahoma. But I will say, if Lincoln Riley had been the coach, let's say at USC 2 years ago, Bryce Young would be a Trojan right now because he's from Pasadena. Bryce Young doesn't get out of California if Lincoln Riley's at USC. It ain't happening. He's starting right now for USC right now, hands down.
So speaking of that, so you think the Canes are going to keep the South Florida talent? They're going to go. You think the U is going to be back being the U?
Well, if Cristobal listens to because this is a contingent of former players that are there. I know Ed Reed is a part of the staff down there, and they know what it is. They know the talent that's down there. That's got in their first meeting with Cristobal. Say, hey, Cristobal, all you got to do is recruit Florida. You can recruit outside of Florida, but you need to recruit Florida first. You especially South. If you can get the talent in South Florida to stay in South Florida, everything else is just icing on the cake because all you need is right in South Florida. Too many teams have came to South Florida, got those players, and then flourished in other places, man.
Yeah, he need to go to St. Thomas Aquinas. He needs to go to Miami Central, New Orleans. IMG. Yeah, IMG. He only need to just keep going about 10 schools down there, and they'll be just fine. But, I'll say this, man. I hope all 3 of the state schools come back because it was exciting in the 80s and 90s when you had Florida State. Florida was a little down in the 90s, but I would like to see Miami get back in the national picture again. It would be good.
Yeah, it would. Let's see. Don't we have a coach rumored to leave for Florida?
Yeah, he's on his way out.
Oh, so that's the answer, your card.
He's the defensive line coach. Even though he said he talked about it, he goes back to
Tosh Lupio.
Tosh. I think they were. I think him and the Florida coach I think they were assistants together at Alabama, I believe. But basically he kind of, I mean, he ain't say directly, he got to serve out his contract this year, but soon as January the 10th or whenever, after that final game, he'll be at Florida. And the tight end coach, Tyler Bowen, he's going to be the offensive coordinator at Virginia Tech. And that's official, but he's going to, stay for the remainder of the season for the Jaguars. Then he's going to be the Virginia Tech. But they leaving, man. I mean, I think there's going to be more of Myers' assistants leave. I mean, that just, it's been a tough season. This guy got tirades and they're not winning. And Tyler Bourne is a pretty, he was at Penn State, so I don't think he was going to have a problem getting back into college, and I think some more, I mean, if I was Sanjay Lee and a couple others, might be time to start sending them resumes out.
The offensive staff, it's time to start sending them out. See, Jakar says, what do you think Spencer Rattler lands? Man, I don't know, man, because that kid went outside in Oklahoma.
Yeah, he done lost a lot of his damn draft stock, man.
Oh man, dude, I can't lie though. If I'm a team though, I'm taking in the late rounds. I'm gonna do a flyer on him because the kid is talented. Yeah. It's just his attitude, but his attitude spans back to, they say, high school. It's been an issue for a long time. And that's
not a good sign, man. I tell you, it's not good. I mean, this kid was a Heisman Trophy candidate when the season started.
Mm-hmm. And he's on the Heisman list.
He didn't even get an invitation to sit.
Yeah. So hopefully this experience, he learned from this. I don't necessarily say it humbles him, but makes him do some soul searching, as you said earlier about Jawan Taylor. Spencer Rattler needs to do some soul searching, and he needs to reevaluate the situation and know that, hey, you got to go about things differently. Listen to the criticism, listen to what things people have said, take it and apply it. That people can't take criticism today anyway. I mean, that's kind of like the world we live in right now. People can't take criticism, even if it's constructed, even if it's coming from a place of love. People get so defensive. But when somebody's telling you something like that, especially if it's somebody who cares about you, you need to listen. Listen, they're not trying to harm you, not trying to hurt you. You need to listen to what they're saying. So I hope Spencer Rattler can get it together, man. But I've never seen the quarterback go out like that. Not a top guy like that.
Yeah,
not a top Heisman candidate like that.
Well, he got benched too, so
yeah. And then the backup came in throwing darts, son. So that's enough of that college football. And let's see what we got left. Let's see what was my stuff we got left. We're gonna do a few quick hits on that because I know that how much battery life you got left over there.
I ain't got much, but
okay, yeah. So let's get through this so we can wrap it up pretty soon. So talk about college football playoff. James Robinson. Oh, we got a little basketball.
Got a little basketball. Throw them hoops at us, man. I've been watching some hoops, man. I tell you what, before we start, they're saying Doncic, man, he eating too much, man.
Oh, Luka. So Luka on the Zion diet?
Yeah, they say eating too much, man. Who said that on the broadcast? Oh man, I can't think. Indiana Pacers all-star guard. What his name? Reggie Miller say, man.
Reggie Miller said it.
Yeah.
Luka, but I will give Luka is just like he's not an athletic freak. He's not a specimen. Like people talked about Greg Jones when Greg Jones got into the Jaguars, or even when he first got to Florida State. The thing that people said about him is like, yo, he's a specimen. He's like chiseled out of stone, look like a Greek god. That ain't Luka Doncic at all. I mean, it's not even close. Luka Doncic looked like a 37-year-old dad that works as a mechanic with a beer gut. That's what he looks like. He doesn't look like an Adonis.
Hey
So,
man, I got another NBA secret, man.
What's up?
The Magic is horrible.
Magic is awful.
Boy, the Magic played Golden State the other night. I said, Lord have mercy, man. just have a running clock.
Running clock. Yeah.
Just a running clock, man. I say the boy, the Magic got one good player.
Wow, man.
They got one guard they can play. That's it.
Yeah, I seen him.
They got a big man in the post. All he do is run down the court. He don't grab rebound. But he can run the flow though. But he don't do nothing. The kid they got from Florida State, he don't do absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Just run the flow.
Wow. Say Chip Kelly back to Oregon. I mean, he's been there before, so I would say, yeah. I mean,
is that official?
He's asking like with a question mark, so I don't think that's not official. But I wouldn't be surprised to see these coaches are settling for the easy route in college to compete for a national championship for amateur sport. I mean, but you getting paid. Look at what they're getting paid in college. Man, what?
Man,
T Smalls. They with that money. Dog, T Smalls. You seen what Lincoln Riley got from USC, T Smalls? Dude, if I'm Lincoln Riley, I'll never coach an NFL game in my life. As long as college paying like that. And NFL teams come to Lincoln Riley to get tips from his offense, man, on how to run your offense for the kids that's coming out of college. So if I'm Lincoln Riley, I'm trying to be next Nick Saban.
Yeah. You said they paid for his house and they paid off his house in Oklahoma?
He just built, they say he had just built the house that they were moving in when he got hired. And so he had 2 homes in Norman, Oklahoma, and they bought both for over $500,000 over the market price. So that's 110 mil plus 500 for each house. That's $1 million bonus. They bought the houses, private jet use. Come on, dog.
So they basically bought 2 houses in Norman that they're not gonna be able to sell.
Right.
Unless the next coach come in there and want to buy it.
Well, yeah, that's it. You see, is Billy Donovan's Chicago Bulls legit? I think the Bulls are legit.
I do. I mean, they've had some little rough edges, but I think they're legit. No question.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
And
yeah, we about to get into
it's good to see the Bulls be above 500 and just win games. You know, I like that combination. I like their starting 5, man. I think the little question on the bench. You know, just the depth on the bench, but man, they starting 5 can play with any of them.
Yeah, and man, I'm so happy for. I love Caruso. Caruso, dude, he's a grinder. But Lonzo, I'm so happy for Lonzo.
Oh yeah, man, get out of that New Orleans situation. Yes, indeed, man.
You want to talk about when you talk about most improved player, Lonzo Ball, hands down. No doubt, Lonzo Ball. He's improved his shot and everything. I mean, he improved his free throw percentage. We looking at you, Ben Simmons. He improved all of that, man, in a short amount of time, man. It hasn't been long. From his rookie year in LA to now, it's not a long time. And he improved all of it, seemingly in just a few short years.
Hey, man, speaking of Ben Simmons, they talking about the rumor is that the Portland Trail Blazers and the Philadelphia 76ers are in trade talks.
I've heard that. I did hear that.
And they said that the Portland is they might be the most dysfunctional NBA team in the league right now. You know, they fired the GM. Chauncey Billups don't have no support. You know, everybody that was in that hired him, all gone. You know, Lillard, if Lillard could get to Philly, I think that would be a great move. If they do a 3-team trade and if Simmons can go to, I mean, I think Simmons could be a great fit in Sacramento, or I think he'd be a great fit in Portland. You know, they just get out of the situation. And he might be that piece they need in Sacramento.
Shoot, I think Ben would be a good fit in Dallas with Luka.
Yeah,
I
they
think that'd
need
be a
that.
good fit for him.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So, I don't know. See, T Small says, word, in my opinion, Lincoln Riley is overpaid and overrated for a coach who have yet to win a championship. Well, Oklahoma, number one, it's a top school. I don't think there's been many periods of time where Oklahoma has just been bad. They've been good for a very, very long time, even before Lincoln Riley. But there is seeming to be a cap on I don't know if it's just the recruiting or the talent level that wants to come there, but their teams always seem to be, when they go up against the Alabamas or even the way Clemson has been, even the Georgias, you can tell the difference in the talent. Like that's just been what it is. And plus, they don't play any defense. They don't play defense in the Big 12. They just don't. They don't. So that's why when Texas and Oklahoma announced it's going to the SEC, I said, oh, so now you're going to lose by 3 touchdowns instead of 2. Okay.
And you know another thing, Brandon, there's nothing in Norman, Oklahoma. I mean, you go and recruit a kid from a big city and launch him down in Norman. There's nothing. I mean, if you could sell somebody, I mean, you selling that program because of the tradition of Oklahoma, but there's nothing. Basically, there's nothing to do there. You know, even if you go to Oklahoma City, there's nothing to do. So if you can recruit and get kids to go to Oklahoma to play, and you know that there's not a lot of attractions, I think it says a lot about him being a recruiter. You know, and I think a lot of people just look at the fact that he got, you know, Oklahoma had these quarterbacks that's in the NFL. You know, they came out of, you know, number 1 picks coming out of Oklahoma.
Yeah. And USC, if he doesn't win a title at USC, then he's not the guy, because now USC is a blue chip job. This is one of the top jobs in the whole country. It's up there with Florida State, even though Florida State is not as good right now, but it is still a blue chip job. Florida's a blue chip job. Alabama, blue chip job. Ohio State, blue chip. Clemson, blue chip. Notre Dame, blue. These are blue chip jobs. These are top of the line. These brands are known. You walk around on anywhere on the planet with the logo of those teams I just named on your shirt. I don't care if you're in Timbuktu, Africa. It's somebody, a tribal guy gonna walk up to you and say, hey, that's Ohio State. I see on your shirt. I know that. I mean, it's just what it is. So for USC, him to go to USC, the clock starts now, and he has to win a title. They gave him the farm, so they expect titles, not one. They expect multiple titles in Los Angeles, man. So it is what it is. But let's continue on to this basketball, man. Let's get into a little bit of this basketball. And very first one, we got to talk about Mr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greatest players of all time, if not the greatest player. I don't understand why he doesn't get enough run in the argument for greatest player of all time. We're talking about a man that won, I think, 2 or 3 high school championships. He won national titles in college, and he won 5 titles in the NBA. One of the most winningest basketball players to ever grace the planet, and he doesn't get enough run as far as one of the greats, in my opinion. But like greats have been doing in the last couple of years, no matter the sport, they've commented on current players in certain situations. And we've talked about this before, Mr. Reid. The more I hear former players talk about current players, the less I want to hear. Because it comes off as sour grapes. It comes off as jealous. It comes off as, hey, these guys making money off of what I helped build, basically. I seen the thing where they said Wilt Chamberlain said that he should get 10% of all players' contracts going forward because of what he contributed to the game. I said, man, if he could have pulled that off, that would have been something. But you know, I saw that, I was like, man, that's absolutely ridiculous. But
who said that?
Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain said that.
Oh, he said that because years back.
Yeah, he said that. Let's see. So NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar rips LeBron over childish act. So LeBron hit a shot, and you see the pose he's doing. It's like a little celebration. I think they said it started by Sam Cassell, and they call it the big ball celebration or whatever. And he kind of doing a gesture. And people, it's a family game, so people say there's no place in the game for it. But I mean, it's harmless to me anyway. I've seen worse things on the court and even worse things done and said. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said something that I want to highlight. So where is it? Yeah, so he says, for me, winning is enough. Why do you need to do a stupid, childish dance and disrespect the other team on the court? It doesn't make sense. Goats don't dance. So when I seen that, he called it childish and disrespectful. The dance. So when I saw that from Kareem, and we may have a difference in opinion on this, I understand him criticizing LeBron and saying, "Hey, that's an obscene gesture. You shouldn't do that dance." But he didn't say don't do that dance. He just said goats don't dance at all. But basically saying that you need to be more professional. That's not what the greatest of all goats do. And Kareem, come on, man. Today's a different game. It's a different game today. Let the kids have their time. You had your time. You want to be suit and tie, and we all business, cool. But these guys are here having fun, and it's harmless. So, and that's when I say, when I listen to these guys continue to talk, the less I want to hear, man. Because I'm like, out of all the things that you could criticize, that's what you picked up.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brandon. I mean, I'm like I said, he's a hero to me. Watched him all my life almost. But I mean, come on, man. Just I say retired players need to retire to stay retired.
Yeah,
I think they get too much in front of the cameras. There's always a camera there waiting on them to speak. And you're not gonna tell me some of those teams with Magic, who's a GOAT, that he didn't celebrate when they. I mean, come on. I mean, let's be realistic. Also,
Yeah.
I've seen Kareem throw the ball up about 90 yards up in the air in the Forum when they clinched that victory. So don't tell me goats don't celebrate.
Yeah.
And it's a game. I think we all lose sight that this is a game. You go 5 years from now, do you think somebody gonna remember other than Kareem that he did a celebration? It's the moment. It's that moment of celebration. It's not like the guys celebrate every time he throw a 3-point shot in the basket.
Right.
And if he does, he's earned it. That's why he called him a GOAT. So I agree with you all. Let's have some fun. Yeah, I think with a life we live with pandemics and everything, I don't mind seeing a guy having some fun on the court. It's not cheapening the game. It's not disrespecting the game. It's a moment of that moment, where it's just like, hey, it's not orchestrated. It's just, hey, I feel like I feel this, and I'm going to celebrate.
Yeah.
And I do say this too, man. I think that at some point, a guy like LeBron, it just seems like he always, no matter what, is a target.
He is.
Particularly from the older guys. It's like, man, and that's when what you said, when you done had your day in the sun, and he's in that twilight moment, Now, who knows, 5 years from now, he'd be sitting in that rocking chair like Kareem,
Yeah.
But until he gets in the rocking chair, why not enjoy it? I mean, what's the point of playing,
Yeah.
And,
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, it's just like everything don't have to be like us. It's everything is too serious at the moment right now anyway. I like to see players celebrate a big shot. I mean, what's the harm?
Yeah.
I like seeing Golden State. They celebrate. They don't overdo it, but they celebrate.
They celebrate. Steph Curry hot dogs with the best of them.
They're jumping around and
little shimmy. He be shimmying and all of that.
I say, man, if you winning, that's what's winning for. You earn that right. Now I don't like to see the losers. We go back to our old football team here in Jacksonville, and the guy get an interception. It's like, man, what the score of the game? Did that interception just allow them to take the lead? No, they down by 26. And they running from the 40 to the end zone.
You remember Reggie Williams?
Reggie Williams, the basketball player?
Wide receiver from Washington that the Jaguars drafted.
Nah.
They drafted him in the first round, number 11. You don't even remember him. But Reggie used to dance every time he caught the ball. Every time Reggie Williams touched the football, he used to do some type of dance. And dude, it was so annoying because he wasn't even a average player. I wouldn't like to use the term bust because you made it to league, whether you lived up to whatever expectation was, whatever. You did something that many people don't do. But he didn't live up to his expectation to be here. And I swear, every time he touched the ball, he was dancing. Dude, we could be down by 30. He catch a first down pass, and he all in the camera. And I'm like, dog, if you don't get him, come on, Reggie. But that's not what we're talking about. That's not this. Let the guys celebrate. And then Shaq took a shot at LeBron just recently on this podcast where he was talking about LeBron getting those fans thrown out for saying that they hoped his son died in a car accident. And Shaq was like, he's talking about, yeah, you don't ever get fans kicked out. I don't care what they say, as long as they don't put their hands on you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Shaq, this is former players, please. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear it no more. Stop.
Well, half of the time they changing what they said. They've totally changed from when they were a player.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's like, come on, man. I think all these guys trying to get attention to get endorsement deals like Shaq.
Yeah.
Do you know? Let me say this, man. Do you know Shaq got his own reality show on TNT?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible.
Oh, I got to see it now. Since you said it's terrible, man, I got to see it now. I got to watch some of it.
I say, man, ain't no storylines on there. It's just Shaq. I say, Lord have mercy, man. We can do better than that, man. That's almost like Shazam or whatever the hell that movie was. I say, man.
Yeah. I did see Smoot celebrating when we was getting crushed. Yeah, I saw that. I did. I saw that. I was like, yeah. I don't know, man. Even if we're down big and I see the touchdowns or I see stuff like that. I mean, you're in the NFL and it's very hard to do what they do. Smoot get a sack, and it's not like he come across a sack every single game. He get a sack, he's excited. So I get it. Temper it a little bit, but I don't mind him, thumping his chest a little bit, but don't go crazy.
If you're down by 30, the two things that's a no-no. Okay.
Jack's life is hilarious. Come on tonight at 9.
All right. Well, episode I saw, like, man, they can do better than this. Oh, man, I don't want to see Shaq on a bumper car where he can't even get in it. It's like, what's Shaq gonna do now, man? Shaq throw the party. Shaq did.
From Kareem to Shaq and them, just former players criticizing current players, especially the ones who were problems back when they played. I've never understood it. Like Keyshawn Johnson act like he was an angel, now that he's in the media. I'm like, are you serious, Keyshawn? Come on, dog. You was T.O. before T.O.
Keyshawn comes on the radio like all day in L.A. and he just bashes everybody. Baseball players getting bashed. I say, man, now wait a minute. Now I know you was an all right player, but damn, were you that good?
Were you that good? Were you that good
that you could just bash everybody? Man, he was bashing everybody the other day. I said, Lord have mercy. This dude come on the radios for 6 hours. All he do is bash everybody.
Yeah, man. It is what it is, man.
Keyshawn Johnson, the critic of America.
Right. And some of his arguments, dog, I'll be looking at him like when he was criticizing Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Dan Orlovsky killed him. He's like, yo, what game you watching?
Yeah.
Have you watched the kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
coaches criticize everything, man. Keyshawn.
Yeah, ridiculousness, man. But we're gonna keep it on some basketball. Let's see. Oh man, we gotta talk about this one. It was two of your favorites. So Zion Williamson has been in the news.
Oh Lord.
And there's a picture going around of Zion leaving one of the games. And when I tell you, Zion looks like he's where he weighs about 315 pounds right now.
Oh, I believe
Zion looks huge. He had on a jogging suit, top and the bottom pants, and I'm like, he's so big now to where it's like he got that on because he can't fit in regular clothes no more. That's what it looks like. That's I promise that's what it looks like.
Man. Hey, all you need to know, he's been practicing 5-on-5 for the last almost going on 3 weeks now.
Yeah,
and he still ain't in shape. If you practicing 5-on-5 and as bad as the Pelicans are, don't you think by now you'd be ready to play in the games? He's so badly out of shape that he can't even put him in the game.
You would think, man. And he's huge right now.
I saw that dude on the other night sitting on the bench. He might be more than 315. He might be like 325.
Oh, man. He looks like the starting left tackle for the Saints right now.
Yeah, he probably could start there too. Because they got some offensive line problems. But I think it's a rarity, man, for a guy in season, even if he's injured. His weight has increased since training camp started. When he wasn't practicing, like he's getting bigger over the last month than he was before the season started.
Yeah.
And
we talk about that all the time.
It says that this guy don't care. He eating himself out of the league or what? Now, you know, there have been some players who he basically ate themselves out of the league.
Yes, it has been, man. Say eating that New Orleans gumbo, beignets, crawfish, all that good eats.
Man, hey, gumbo don't put weight on you like he eating some gators.
Yeah. Hey, etouffee.
Yeah.
Hey, I was gonna bring this name up. Josh Stewart, you a fool for this. Eddie Lacy. Dog, yes, Eddie Lacy, man.
Oh man, I remember Eddie.
One of the funniest moments in sports media that I can remember, one of my funniest moments is they were showing highlights of the Packers and Deion Sanders on NFL Network, and they were showing the highlights. And Deion, while Eddie Lacy was running, Deion go, the honey bun hammer. I said, oh my God. He called Eddie Lacy the honey bun hammer. I said, oh man.
Lord, that Eddie got bigger from week 4 to week 10.
Shoot, what's the wide receiver in Carolina who was talking trash about Cam? And he went to Florida State and won the title with Jameis. Oh, what's that wide receiver's name? I can't think of his name. Oh man, I gotta look it up. Let's see, former Panthers wide receivers. No, because I can't remember his name, but he was talking trash. Let's see, where is that? Man, why they ain't got him up here? Man, I can't think of this dude's name. Let's see. Hold on. I know what to do. Florida State wide receivers. He should come up. Because he was one of the better wide receivers while he was there. Let's see. Florida State wide receivers. Oh, they showing current wide receivers. Oh, okay. Top 7 best. Oh, okay. Kelvin Benjamin. That's my guy. Yeah. Okay. Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin Benjamin was so big. Yes, they already said it. I ain't see y'all in the chat, man. I'm sorry. Appreciate it. Kelvin Benjamin. That's it. Kelvin Benjamin was so big. It's a picture of him. All you gotta do is Google it. Of him going to training camp, I think in his 2nd or 3rd year. He looked like a guard. And they said, well, he had some issues with family. I think one of his relatives passed, and he was going through a tough time. I said, yeah, he may be, but you still got a job to do at the end of the day. And it had been a constant thing. And I remember, I kid you not, he was with the Buffalo Bills, and they were playing Monday Night Football, and Booger McFarland said, Kelvin Benjamin is 2 Popeyes biscuits away from playing left tackle. 2 Popeyes biscuits away.
Spoken from a lineman.
Spoken from a lineman, man. So I really hope Zion does not eat his way out of the league like we've seen other athletes do. Maybe they haven't talked about some other underlying issue he has that could have him putting on weight. Don't know what it could be, but we're assuming that he's just not eating properly. That's just what it is, because you're in a profession where you're active 24/7, basically. Like you working out on a regular basis. You're always practicing, always moving. So weight is not going to stick to you like that because you're always moving. But if you're eating poorly and you're injured, this is what's going to happen. And I'm be honest with you, Mr. Reid, I'm thinking about shutting him down the rest of the season, because if you put him out there at 300 plus on those knees, it's going to be a short career.
Hey, man, that's why he's been working 5-on-5. He's been cleared to return, and it's going on the 3rd week, and he still ain't there. And don't say that and you know they need him. And you're right. I mean, they might need to shut. I mean, I don't know. I to be honest, maybe if it doesn't work out this season and he missed, I don't know, X amount of games, shit, they might just need to just trade him, get a blockbuster deal or something. And center the team around Ingram and get more talent. I mean, the 20-something points you can get from Zion, you can get 40 if you get 2 good players and that can help that young team. I think they need some veterans, to be honest.
Yeah, they need veterans,
But if Zion not the answer, he don't want to be in New Orleans, and man, cut the losses, man. I mean, just build. You got a young nucleus. Add some pieces around whatever you got, like Chicago, and just start over that way. But I
hope this ain't his play to try to get out of New Orleans.
It might be. It might be.
If it is, Mr. Reid, you're taking your value by doing this to your body.
Yeah, but you're young and dumb. You don't know that. When you want out, ask Ben Simmons. You just make dumb decisions, man. You don't value long term. You got short term misery, and it's overshadowing your long term worth. And right now, shit, I don't know if his value worth anything at this point right now. I mean, even if they wanted to trade him, who want a 300? I mean, he's been hurt 2 out of the 3 years he's been in the league. I mean, hey. What was his impact last year? They only won. I mean, they still about 30 games under 500. So his value to the team, I mean, they can get the same value by him sitting on the bench. They still not going to win.
Right now, see, Kassan Carter say Zion drinking Slurpee, walking Bourbon Street, bar hopping. Yeah, that's what it seemed like he's doing, because he ain't working out, man. He's not working out right now. Zion's value right now was so low, they could probably trade him for a Gatorade, some Doritos, and a 4-pack of Reese's with 2 left in the pack. Like that's what they could trade him for right now, man.
Well, I trade him to the Suns and get me Aaron Fox and a couple of them wing players or somewhere, and let him go eat some Popeye biscuits in Sacramento.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're right, man. They're like, to me, when I watch them games and he on the sideline, it just seems like he's getting bigger by the week. Not by the day, but by the week. He looks like he's getting bigger each day. And it don't look like he's working out. Don't look like he's trying to get in shape. It just seems like he's just adding weight. That's all the difference that you see in him.
Yeah. And he's such a talented player. Hopefully he can overcome this, get back on the court, drop the weight, and have a good career. But to have his career go this way, and the trajectory is currently going, man, it's disappointing, man. Zion. Go ahead.
I say maybe he needs. I think he needs to go to some place. Maybe he needs to go to the Heat. He need to go somewhere where they got some strong leadership,
structured.
Pat Riley. And just like,
send him to Celtics, send him to Boston.
You're not going to make the rules for this team. If you don't get in shape, then you're not going to be around this team. Something like somebody got to come rescue this guy before he kill his career.
You're taking his value.
And I think that's what it's going to. He done went from here to here. You know, the kid at Memphis done passed them ran laps around him. You know, it's like even guys from his own draft class, you know, they done lapped him. It's like he ain't made no progress.
Was it R.J. Barrett?
Yep,
Come
RJ.
on, man.
Yeah, playing well with the Knicks. You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
those
man,
guys are you know, they're established stars on their team. Their availability is great. They're not sitting and watching. Man, he's watching more basketball than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
New Orleans is not the spot, you know, New Orleans is not a place for everybody, man. It's not. It's not a great basketball town. You look at this game, they got all those empty seats, and it's not an atmosphere in the arena. And it may not be for Zion. I mean, Zion may have to get his wake up call somewhere else. You know, it may not be that perfect fit for him.
Rumor has it, New York was his destination of where he wanted to go. He said he wanted to go to New York and play for the Knicks, but you know they got the 8th pick instead of the 1st.
Yeah.
So he said, we took John Moran of Memphis left him in the dust. It ain't a competition now.
It ain't even close.
Huh? It ain't even close.
Yeah, they had to do it over again. That's who they probably should have picked.
That's who going number 1. John Morant goes number 1 today.
They're like Morant, like he's balling, man. His basketball is number 1. You can't say that about Zion. Basketball look like it's about number 10. Food is first. Beignets number 2. Crawfish etouffee number 3. A couple of them New Orleans daiquiris is number 5. Gator Tails is the number 6. It look like his food list is bigger than his basketball list, man.
Hey, and for a midday snack, with a huge sandwich, he gonna eat some of them Zaps of voodoo chips.
Man, they got a place down there called The Brothers gas station. Man, they got the best fried chicken in the world down there. I'm sure he's killing that too. You got to get out the Bayou, man. For the Bayou done ate me.
Bayou's literally gonna kill him. He better get out of there.
Yeah, he better get on out of there. But he better go back to North Carolina and play at Charlotte or somewhere, man.
Yeah, Hornets can use him.
He can't back away from the table.
Yeah. Oh, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna stay in basketball. Then we're gonna finish with football. What was the next one? Oh, Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis has took on some criticism as of late because they're pretty much when teams that have great expectations falter, the fingers start to point. Who's to blame? Whose fault is it? Who shares most of the blame for why the season isn't going the way that they were predicted to go before the season? And Charles Barkley came out and said, y'all got an Anthony Davis problem. Anthony Davis is not the guy that he thinks he is or they thought he would be. He hasn't been that guy. He has not been consistent. And it starts with Anthony Davis. We talked about this before the season. Yes, LeBron, one of the GOATs, greatest of all time, but he's 36. Russell Westbrook, triple-double machine. Got it. Carmelo's, older guy. Trevor Ariza isn't back yet, I don't think, but they're supposed to get Trevor Ariza back. You got Dwight Howard, Taylor Horton Tucker, Malik Monk can play. Malik Monk, they say he need to push to be in the starting lineup because Malik Monk can play. So you got all these pieces. But Anthony Davis is the straw that stirs the drink. When Anthony Davis plays to his potential, he's unguardable. He's one of the best defenders in the league. And when he's on, dude, there's no way you can beat the Lakers, especially with LeBron on the court right next to him when he plays to the level that he's capable of playing. But when he plays right and he's playing right now, I don't know what's going on with him. We talked about the power struggle in the past and him seemingly basically got to look to LeBron for leadership or ask for position or whatever. I don't know what the deal is, but Anthony Davis has not lived up to expectations. Now, of course, it's not all on him because they can't defend anybody. I was going to put on Facebook and tweet it out on Twitter, and I should have did it when I had those thoughts. I should just put it out there. But I said the Lakers' three-point defense consists of, number one, hope the guy misses. That's the. But have you watched the Lakers this year? Have you watched them like in the last couple of games? Have you watched them?
Yeah, I watched them the other night. I watched them. They played Tuesday night. They were
the Clipper game.
Yeah, I think it was. I know they were on TNT Tuesday night.
And they lost.
Game. Yeah, they lost.
Yes, because the Clippers beat them. I think that was a Clippers game. Dude, they can't guard the 3-point line.
Yeah.
They can't guard the 3-point line to save their life. That's one of their biggest issues. They have to guard the 3-point line, and they have to guard in transition. It's awful. So it's not just on Anthony Davis because he's a great defender, but it's not just on him. But it starts at the top. LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, those are your three guys. It starts with them. So the blame lies on their shoulders. But I don't think Anthony Davis is the guy who we think he is, or probably even who he thinks he is. And if he is, he's definitely not playing like it right now.
Well, the problem is that AD don't play with passion every night. What you just said. I mean, he don't have the switch on every night. You know, even in that game, I mean, Barkley his first half was just absolutely horrible. He took 7 shots in the first half. He lost the ball like 3 times. It's like he got his shot blocked he had a clear path to the basket, and he got his shot blocked. And he was that way in New Orleans. He's that way in LA. When he's on, he's on. But when he's, I've said this many times. I said, man, he's got to have the desire to take over for AD. I mean to take over for LeBron. And it just seems like, and even Westbrook a little bit, it's like these guys, either they got to fear LeBron or there's more going on with that Laker team than what we know going on. It just seems like when a guy played for the Lakers, his game, it looked like the player becomes more of a facilitator than going at it. Like, I mean, LeBron gonna be on the court, but if I got an open lane to the basket, I'm taking it. I'm not waiting on LeBron to come down the floor and feed the pass to him. And it seemed like AD is a guy that's not a leader. He's a great talent. He's not a verbal guy.
Yeah, it's
hard to reach him. It's hard to it's hard to know what he's thinking. And he doesn't play injured. He
definitely don't.
You got a broken hand, I can understand not playing. But when you got a sore big toe or a knot on your wrist, and you can still pop the wrist, he takes time off, And I don't think it's changed with the Lakers. He's got all the talent in the world. And sometimes, I think I said this on your show, I don't believe AD knows exactly how good he is. I think that's his biggest problem is this mentally. You're talking about a guy who grew up in Chicago, went to a school that nobody ever heard of, and he had a growth spurt. He went from a point guard to a big man, and he didn't come out of inner city Chicago and play at Chicago King and none of those places where you gotta be rough, tough, and they'll knock your head off or talk about you or whatever if you don't play right. He went to that private school where they didn't even have a gym, and even though he's from Chicago, he's a suburban kid. So he's not that typical hard. No, most of your Chicago players are hard, raw, don't take no crap, and they'll play Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, or whatever day it is. You're gonna get the same effort no matter what. If they done played 7 games of 21, they're gonna play the 8th game just like they played the first game. But with AD will play hard on. I remember when he was with the Pelicans, any game that came on ESPN, he was just magnificent. If you get a game on Wednesday when he's playing against the Grizzlies or somebody that who nobody cares about, he played down to the competition,
Yeah.
and he's still that way,
Yeah.
when the lights are shining, he's great. But when there's no TV cameras and it's just a normal game on NBA League Pass, he give you that AD effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just don't think the guy realized how much talent he has. I think he coached a lot. And that's something Monty Williams said, like his second or third year. He said he doesn't play hard. And we like, what? He said he don't play hard every minute he's on the floor. And he don't. And he still
don't hustle.
Yeah, he don't hustle. Ain't no way in the world this guy should be getting his shot. Like he's 7 feet tall, getting his shot blocked by a 6'6" power forward. Unacceptable.
If we go over the talents of Anthony Davis, I mean, it's repetitive at this point because it's obvious the talents that he has. Like you said, he was a 6'1", 6 foot point guard who grew to 6'11". Yep. Yeah, he had a growth spurt, and he kept his guard skills.
Yep.
A 6'11", 7 foot big man with guard skill. That's all this need to be said. And from time to time, the man looks like when he gets on the floor, he looks like he's 6'3" playing against big men sometimes. Yeah.
Well, sometimes you look at the game, it's like, where the hell is he? I mean, it's like you can't find him. The ball don't go through him. He's a fern. He got open shots. He pass them up. I mean, I'm not saying he's like Ben Simmons, but Jesus Christ, man, take over the game. LeBron shouldn't have to tell him, man, hey, AD, you good, man. I mean, take over. I ain't gonna get mad at you. You got a shot, take it. And it's the same way with the Pelicans, man. They had to tell a dude, like, take over the game, man. We ain't got nobody that on your level. Take over the game. Yeah, I mean, it's like you don't need to pass to a guy because he's open. Just take the ball to the basket. And he wouldn't do it. And it's like, man.
So do you think this has anything to do with them winning a championship in his first year in LA? Because players have a tendency to become complacent and to get fat and rest on their laurels. And it seems like ever since after the championship year, it's been inconsistency with Anthony Davis. That first year he was there, he was on more often than not. And he'll even when he had bad shooting games or bad games, he went out shooting. I have no problem with you having a bad shooting night if you went out shooting. But you having a bad shooting night and you just not attempting shots and you 1 for 7. No, I don't want you to go 1 for 7. End up 2 for 14 because at least you were trying. At least you were there. Now it's just.
I think AD is a player that I call a player that has to make a request. He's a request player. And a request player is everything got to be to his liking. He didn't want to play center. He don't want to get banged up in the post. He don't like playing center. And he's been on teams to say, okay, AD, we won't play you at center. He get a bump on the hand. I can't play. I'm not 100%. And they say, okay, AD, we'll wait till you get, but we don't want you playing injured. And it's just like, man, you can't cuddle superstar. I mean, you can, but there's got to come a time where this guy get in his system that everything is riding on you to lead us, not LeBron. You the answer. LeBron is just getting us there, and it's going to be a time where he reaches a certain point where he can't take it to the next level no more, but you can. And he's young. I don't know what it is. I don't even call AD young no more. He's a seasoned veteran. Yeah. And he just can't turn that notch up. It's just he can't. Everything that Charles Barkley said Tuesday night was true. And it's been the same. It's been the same story on AD since the time, even when he was at Kentucky. People say, well, damn, he took over the game defensively, but he was the only guy I ever seen that can take over a game defensively but score 7 points. And it's like, man, you got all that talent in the world and you don't want to shoot, you don't want to score. So a lot of times a guy's deficiency comes out even before he get to the league. This same thing with Ben. Ben didn't make no shots at LSU.
Yeah.
But AD worked on his game. He can make every shot. That's the difference. The guy put the time in to be a better player. He bulked up. He got on a regiment to bulk up with his weight. When he first got in the league, he couldn't make perimeter shots. He was just an inside guy, but he didn't have when he first got in the league, he wasn't big enough to contend with those big guys in the post.
Mm-hmm.
So he worked on his game going out, and he worked getting bigger. So a guy who put in the time, worked on his game, and he still ain't got that fire. He got to have dogs. Man. If you ain't got the dog, the one thing about having dogs, you got to have the dog. You can't adopt it.
Can't coach it. You can't imitate it. Yeah. You can't duplicate it. Yeah. I was talking to a coworker at work, and we were talking about that. And I said, I always we were talking about Draymond Green and how, Draymond flies off the handle from time to time. I say, you know what? I have no problem with the way Draymond's temperament is. You know why? Because I can always get a dog to stop the biting, but I can't get a dog to bite. Mm-hmm. That's one of the issues. When you don't have that dog in you, you can't manufacture that dog. You can't coach the dog. You can't do any of that, man. And you're right. Anthony Davis does not have that dog in him. He doesn't. And when he's in the center position, one of the best teams in the league when he's at the center position. That's just what he does when he's at the center position. But because he doesn't want to play it,
he doesn't want to.
I don't understand that. Because it's like this. Okay, you don't like playing center, but you're gonna win if you play center. Most likely, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
What's the debate?
There shouldn't be any debate. But another problem with the Lakers, Frank Vogel is not a forceful coach. He's a diplomatic coach, but he's not a guy that's going to get in your face. He's not a guy that's going to tell you this is the way it's going to be. I don't care if you don't like it. This is the way it's going to be. Everything even with his days with Indiana, he's always that guy that's going to be the compromise. He's going to make things good. He's not going to be where, he said I got to do this. I'm pissed off like hell that I'm doing it. But Frank has never been a coach like that. And maybe with this, when you got a team of veterans like the Lakers have, where you got those personalities and they're trying to blend in, and somebody got to take away some of the things that they do, somebody got to give in and all that kind of stuff to mesh. And if you ain't got a forceful coach or a particular head coach, but even an assistant coach, you're gonna have problems. And I think that's one of their problems. They are at a point right now where everybody doing their own thing. Carmelo gonna take that shot, Westbrook gonna drive the lane, and nobody's gonna give and take. That's the way they play. They play like there's no give and take. I'm gonna do what I've been doing. I'm not gonna sacrifice and all that, and I'm not doing it. This is my style. They do change when LeBron. They respect LeBron enough that they're gonna let LeBron gonna be a facilitator.
Yes,
and he's gonna score. So LeBron dictate that kind of stuff. But those guys, they too much like AD, just too much standing around watching LeBron. And it's like he's not assertive. And that game Tuesday night, he was embarrassing, man. And that's what Charles them say, look here, man. If you is an MVP candidate, which you are, top 75 player in the league history, and you take 7 shots in a half and you losing, something wrong with that.
Something's wrong with that.
Yeah, it's like, man, you gotta be your heartbeat gotta beat, it gotta beat with some passion, man. That's unacceptable for you taking 7 shots in the first half and your team getting beat up and down the floor, man. Like I say, LeBron are gonna be wore out because LeBron got to do it all. He got to do it all for him to stay in the game, and he got all these superstars around there. And the young star is Anthony Davis, and he's playing like he's 36. He's playing like he's saving himself for I don't know, 10 years down the line or whatever it might be. But who's a guy that's weighing 240, whatever he weighing, 246, 6'11", 7 feet, whatever it is, don't want to play center? He's still the biggest guy on the floor.
Yeah.
It's not the age of big centers anymore, and this guy doesn't dominate. I say, but then people got a problem like this. That's the thing about Stephon. I mean, the Warriors. You can watch the Warriors. I don't care if they played back to back on the second back to back. I don't care if they played Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, came back and played a back to back Friday and Saturday. You know what you're going to see? You're going to see them play the same way, the same style. You're going to see Curry play the same way.
Yeah.
If he's tired, you still going to see him play the same way. When you see the Lakers and you see AD, you can look at them. I don't even have to look on the box score to see, well, damn, they must have played the night before.
Yeah, like Steph Curry had one of his worst shooting games of his career, and then I think he bounced back with a 40-point game. Come on, dog. Like and AD has never had that type of coach, like you said. I think that's a part of it too. He needs a Pat Riley.
He does. He might need to go to that team where them dudes in Miami.
Oh yeah,
they gonna tell you like, man, look here. Either we can't have this. You the best guy on the floor, and you ain't putting it out, man. And we gotta call you out.
Yeah, because right now the way what the Lakers should be doing right now, they should have number one. You should have a winning record right now. Way above 500, not what they are right now, because I think they're 10, 11-9, or 11-10, or something like that. They hovering around 500. But right now, Anthony Davis is supposed to be a leading MVP candidate, dropping 30 points a night. Westbrook doing his thing, and LeBron should be playing. He shouldn't be playing 40 minutes a night. Number one, he shouldn't. Not at this point in his career. LeBron should be 35 at the most. And then even then, I don't want him playing that. These guys are supposed to be able to carry this team until they get closer to the playoff. Because in the playoff is where I want LeBron to exert majority of his energy for the season. I don't want LeBron playing 40 minutes against the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah. I don't want that.
Yeah. That's the problem. But the biggest problem is what we discussing. Is AD don't want to be a superstar. He don't want to be the guy. He don't want to be he can't be the guy until LeBron, like when they get at the end of February and getting ready for the March run and then get into the playoffs in April.
Yeah.
And he's got to change, man. I mean, he's got to be that. He got to get the dog in him. If he ain't gonna get the dog in him, take the beard off and just just be a regular ordinary player, man.
Yeah, cut that unibrow. Yeah, you don't deserve that unibrow anymore. Cut it off
and trade him to Minnesota. I like Minnesota. That's a team, a young team. That Edwards, he got dog in him.
Oh man, that is an absolute dog right there.
Yeah, he's a good player, man. Maybe the Lakers need him. He don't care who on him. He gonna take you to the basket, or he gonna shoot that jump on you.
Yeah, shoot, he got that dog in him, but also LaMelo got that dog in him too. He has a quieter confidence. They say he's closer to LeVar than his brothers, but he's just not as braggadocious and as loud as his dad. But it's there. It's there. It's there.
Man, my battery clock running.
Okay, yeah. So we pretty much done now. We in overtime. But we'll wrap up basketball. We'll finish with this and then we'll get out of here. But Ben Roethlisberger has announced that he will be retiring at the end of the season. So when I saw that come across my screen, when I was watching something, I saw it come across the screen. I said, "Oh, really? Tell me something I don't know." Like I was like, what took this so long? It was very obvious last year, in the middle of the season now, that Big Ben was done. I did a video probably last year while they were on their 11-0 run, when they was going 11-0. And I said, man, this 11-0 Pittsburgh team is probably one of the worst 11-0 teams I'd ever seen.
Yeah. I remember.
They came struggled with the 1-15 Jaguars. That wasn't a good team at all.
Yeah.
And they struggled early with this team. And I said the reason they struggled is because Big Ben can't throw the football like he used to. Didn't say he was a terrible quarterback or he's trash now. He's just not what he was. And this offense is built around him and no longer built around the running game when he first got there. You know, they ran the football. Now they went to the air raid and all of that and throwing the football. They got great wide receivers. But Ben can't throw the ball consistently the way he used to. He'll have a game or two where he looks decent. He looked made on that level. But the thing with old age is not with guys getting older. It's not that they can't play anymore. It's just that you can't put together those great performances back to back to back to back anymore. It's spaced out. You say you're going to have a good game. Then you may have a dud, an okay game. Oh, another good game. Then another dud. That's what it's going through right now. And Shannon Sharp, I've said it a bunch of times, best criticism. He throw the ball like he got a suit jacket on. He can't throw the football anymore. It's over with. It's done. But he is a Hall of Famer, 2-time champion, he's arguably the greatest Steeler to ever wear the jersey. But him retiring, I was like, yeah, we know it's time.
But you know, Ben been retired since 2017, man.
Oh, you think so?
Ben done lost his path. Man, when Ben got, I think Ben got sacked about 4 or 5 times in that first game against the Jaguars in that season when they lost 30-9.
Yeah, I remember that game.
And Ben's wife been like telling them for years. She don't want him to with the concussions and he's been afraid. He's basically been playing afraid for the last 3-4 seasons. And he lost his passion. He was talking about retirement at the end of 2017.
Yes, he was.
He was worried about I think he got a concussion that season. And he was just he'd been scared of getting hurt, you know. And I just don't think when we're talking about AD, I think that fire and he just been going, you know, but the Pittsburgh didn't have anything to replace him with. So they offered him the contract extension, and obviously he accepted it. But Ben ain't been Ben in at least 4 years, man. And inevitable is, I mean, I fought Pittsburgh on not getting a replacement for him, even now. You know, you know, just waiting to the end, and you know, he's a star, man. And you know, I mean, it's like, hey, everybody can't play this game forever, you know. I mean, at the level that he played when they were in the heyday, you know, he played he played the game at a high level, you know. But hey, man, that window, that Father Time, when it hits you, and then adding on to that you know, he's scared of getting hurt, or, you know, some, you know, mental thing where like he's got this mental thing that he's gonna have this long-suffering concussion and stuff like that, and here at home, and you know, from his home, and they talking about you need to get out the game. I don't want to see you get injured, and I mean that stuff weigh on you, man. I think he's been thinking about that since at least that 2017 season. And if it's time, it's time, man. Get on out now.
Leave now. Shoot, dude, they said that motorcycle accident took years off of his career.
He did,
because he went through the windshield. So that took years off of his career. And you could make an argument that no quarterback in the last 20 years has taken the punishment that he's taken. He's taken an absolute beating. No quarterback has taken the hits Ben Roethlisberger has taken over the last 20 years.
Yeah, and I say this also, man, if the rules hadn't changed, Ben probably would have retired after the Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl that they won. Well, lost. They didn't win it.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. But Ben, Hall of Famer, he's going in the Steelers, Ring of Honor. But it's time. It's time. And they always say once you start talking about retirement, you're already retired.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, and don't forget, Jalen Ramsey caught a lot of criticism for his GQ article where he trashed and dusted quarterbacks. But he did mention Ben Roethlisberger in that article. And I remember what he said, and he took a lot of criticism what he said. But it is true what he said. Just watch Watch him since 2017, and what Jalen said is true. He said Ben has wide receivers that can make a play on the ball. Mm-hmm. He said Ben throw the ball up there, and his wide receivers make a play. That's what that is. He said at no point they ever been afraid of Ben dicing them up. It's been the wide receivers making plays, and that's been true for the last at least 4 years.
And just like the way they beat them, but Ben saw so much pressure, particularly in that first game in Pittsburgh when they beat them 30-9. Man, he saw Tavin Smith and those guys coming around, and he was just like a hot potato. I gotta get this ball out my hands, man.
What he threw 5 picks in that game?
Yeah, threw 5 picks, man. He said, I gotta get this ball out my hand. These boys hit me hard, man. Malik Jackson coming up the middle. I said, I gotta get the ball out my hand.
Yeah. I'm sure he sees Tashawn Gibson in his sleep because he was all over the field in that game, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So. Well, that's it, man. We're going to wrap it up right there. I'm going to put a pin in it, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you follow Mr. Reid on Twitter, Jacksonville.com, Florida Times-Union, all this Jaguar coverage. And, dude, if you want to keep tabs on this right here, what we call the franchise, go follow Mr. Reid, man. Go check it out.
Right. We're just trying to get through these 5 games. And I'll tell you now, I'm going to make my prediction. There's no way in hell they're going to win that game up in Tennessee.
It's not, no.
And I'm born and raised in Jacksonville. I'm just telling you, don't get your hopes up high. They ain't won there since 2013.
Tannehill and the coaching staff got to catch COVID for us to have a chance. I'm just saying. The coaching staff and Tannehill got to catch COVID.
I think if you want to put it in, lay a bet or something, just put the will they score? I don't know.
I don't know.
It might be one touchdown, but they ain't scoring much.
No, they're not. They're not.
And then before you get your hopes up high, you thinking like, oh yeah, they lost that bad game to Rams, they're gonna come back and be like real intense enough. Hey man, not this team.
No, not this team. Oh, and before we go, I seen somebody, they were talking about it on one of the radio stations, Mike Vrabel, and how he's a coach of the year candidate, all the injuries they dealt with. And yeah, I would say he's a candidate. But if you want to talk about somebody dealing with injuries and still able to, they still good. Look at the Ravens. They just lost Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah,
he got a torn pec. He done, dude. They showed the injury list. They tweeted out their injury list week before the game. Mm-hmm. Dude, it looked like those shirts that the seniors in high school wear with all the seniors' names on them. That's what the injury report looked like. It was bad. I was like, they say it's better if you make a list of who's not hurt than to put on who's hurt. The list is short of who's not hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would say John Harbaugh, if they make the playoffs and make a significant run in the playoffs, he's coach of the year. He's coach of the year, man. They win 10, 11 games this year with that squad, even though you got Lamar Jackson, and I love Lamar. But, dude, he's coach of the year, hands down, with all those injuries, man. Yeah. So, but appreciate y'all once again for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. I'm should maybe back this week. We'll see with my buddy Sean. But there's an article by Bob Costas where he goes off on the NBA, he goes off on LeBron, and he goes off on Colin Kaepernick, and talking about the China and them abusing human rights. So I'm gonna do it live and probably get into that one maybe later on this week and break that down for you. So tune in for that. But me and Mr. Reid will be back next week sometime. Don't know what day, we'll figure it out, but I will post it and you guys will see it. But until next time, my people, we are out of here.
Peace
out, y'all.